Hello. Today I want to talk to you about 3 levels of exam security. One that you can do in Canvas, the second that you can do in Zoom, and the third that you can do using Respondus Lockdown Browser and Respondus Monitor. Let's check out what we can do in Canvas first. So here I am on my exam. I've created a new midterm, and of course I would want to add my instructions here in this box, but I primarily want to talk to you about what's happening down here under the options. First off, shuffle the answers here. If you have a multiple choice exam, you will definitely want to use this. It's going to make sure that your students all have a different order of their answer choices. So no one's A and B and C are the same. The second thing you'll definitely want to use is the time limit. Now the time limit here is going to be their sit down time taking the exam. So when a student begins the exam, they will only have a limited amount of time to complete it in one sitting. Something to remember for this is that if you have documents or problems that your students are working through, you want to make sure to give them extra time to upload their documents. And then let's talk about how students can see or not see the correct answers here. If you want, you can let the students see the correct answers right after they submit the exam. I would caution you about doing that, and I would actually say turn this off. I would not let the students see the correct answers, or only have them let them see the correct answers after everyone has taken the exam. And here you can set those times and you can actually hide the answers again. So make sure that you uncheck this and or add timing on those answers. Then down below, you should hopefully all be familiar with this, but this is where you set the due date on your exam. And I want to make sure that you are also setting these 2 dates here, the available from and until dates. The available from is going to restrict your students from taking this exam or even accessing the item until this date has come. And then the until date is going to keep students from submitting it. So quick distinction here, the due date still allows students to submit. It will just mark their submissions as late, even if it's past the due date. Until does not let them submit at all. Okay, so let's talk about the second level of security, and that is going to be using Zoom to effectively proctor your exam. I would say this is the equivalent of your students being there in the classroom with you as we would in a non-virtual setting. So if you'd like to do this, make sure that you have corresponded your exam time with a Zoom meeting that your students will go and they will access your Zoom link and then access your exam through Canvas. There you can put them into that gallery view and kind of have a survey of what your students are doing. A really great reason to use Zoom during an exam is actually to allow students to communicate directly with you while they're taking the exam. So if they have a question or a concern, they can actually chat that privately to you. So that's a really big bonus of using Zoom if you want to have a semi-proctored exam. Now, the third option is going to be using the functionality built into Canvas called Respondus Lockdown Browser or Respondus Monitor. But these come with a big caveat, and that is that your students need to have the proper equipment to use them, namely a webcam for Respondus Monitor. And so if you are going to have your students use these, the best practice is going to be that you provide them with a sample quiz so that they can get used to the technology and make sure they have the adequate technology before they do their exam. That's very important. Let me show you in Canvas how you can find these tools and how you can set them on your exams. So you're going to go to your settings here on the side, and you want to make sure that you're in this navigation tab to find this. Now what you're going to do is scroll down until you find Lockdown Browser, and you are going to grab this, bring it all the way up to the top to enable it, and then scroll down and hit save. All right, so now I'm going to see that this is shown up here on the side. So if I want to apply this to an exam that I have, I'm going to click on Lockdown Browser, and then it's going to show me all of my quizzes and exams that I have inside of my Canvas site at the moment. And so I want to put it here on my midterm exam. So I'm going to click down. I'm going to go to the settings. And right now you can see that this is not required. And so I'm going to go ahead and say, I'm going to require lockdown browser for my exam. And if you want, you can set an access code here. I'm not going to do that at this point. But again, here's the next level of security, which is the monitor. This is the webcam video that uses AI to track your students' behavior and then can give you some flags if there's anything suspicious. And now I can see that my midterm exam now has the required lockdown browser and required monitor as well. So there you have it. 3 levels of exam security that you can consider when you're preparing for your midterms or your finals this semester. Let us know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next one.